2 weeks from opening day. Spring training continues here in Glendale, Arizona, as the Dodgers and Royals get together at Camelback Ranch. We're glad you're with us. Joe Davis, Oral Hershiser, Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. And for the Dodgers on the mound in this one, it'll be Rich Hill. Had another good year last year, and he's doing something right now that he's not done in a long time, and that is put together a really good spring.
He's been outstanding. 1 run over 7 innings, and he reminds me of August 23rd last year when he no-hit the Pirates for 9 innings. He is throwing the ball exceptionally well, hopes to maintain it right into the beginning of this season.
Facing off with the Kansas City Royals. We've got first pitch between the Dodgers and the Royals on a pretty nice day. Pretty cool day. Temperature just in the 60s as Kansas City and LA face off on the other side of this break.
There's still time to save at Nissan now. Don't miss big offers on Sentra and Altima, both with automatic emergency braking that could stop for you, standard on our most popular models.
Thanks very much, Rich Hill. Expected to go about 4 innings today, about 60 pitches, and the exact same thing on the backfields for right-hander Kenta Maeda. Dave Roberts said the only reason he's over there is because with 2 weeks remaining until opening day, they need to make sure they have enough time to be able to get Kenta Maeda's work in. Will Smith will catch Maeda. Clayton Kershaw also throwing a pen today. They have not announced his next start, guys.
Rich Hill didn't want you to be able to take your time on that report there, Alana. He's already off and rolling, delivering strike 1 to a first-year Royal in John Jay. And he'll quickly back downhill with strike 2. He's had a great spring so far, Oral.
Wouldn't you want to get the game started in a hurry when you're on a roll? That's the next thing that you want to do as a pitcher, is just get back on the mound and keep feeling it. He'd like to feel it all year. 2 stints on the DL early last year for Rich Hill with those blister problems. Those seem to be completely behind him. Didn't miss a start after he got back from the 2nd stint. And he has thrown the ball very, very well this spring.
Jay reaches out and yanks a soft line drive base hit into right center to open the afternoon.
Perfect jinx for Rich Hill.
Similar to how Ross Stripling's night started last night. A couple of softly hit balls produced the Rockies' first run in a game the Dodgers would eventually win 11-6, putting their spring record at 11-8. For whatever that's worth. Not much. Alex Gordon now. Rich Hill threw the first pitch, by the way, a minute early today. 1:04 or the 1:05 scheduled first pitch.
Wonder if he can put the time in the bank and maybe get an extra visit or something during the game.
I think that's in the rule book, right? You get 6 visits unless you start early. And every minute you start early, you get an additional visit.
That'd be good.
It's outside on Gordon, 1-0.
I tell you what, there's a different energy around camp right now. Different energy for us and the fans, and just that anticipation that opening day is just around the corner.
High strike, 1-1. And with opening day getting moved up into March this year and starting on a Thursday. Normally right now, mid-March, it's like, yeah, you're getting close, but can't quite see the light at the end of the tunnel. Different this way. 2 weeks from today, Dodgers and Giants will play the first game.
Excited to see Kirk Gibson and have his bobblehead night on Friday of the series.
That'll be our first game.
First game is going to be covered by ESPN.
Exclusively.
We will have our pre and post game shows around that broadcast, though, because I know I'm involved with the pregame show down on the field. And boy, get there early on opening day. There'll be a sellout crowd, and there'll be a lot of people coming early. You need to come early to make sure you see all the festivities.
Four with the Giants to open it up. What better way to get the season going? Gordon gets under this one. Jake Peter angling back with Donovan Solano. Tolles coming on, and it fades away from him. And it's 2-2 on Gordon. Boy, every time you see Andrew Tolles sprinting, and at this point I think he's earned the fact to start to move on from it, but still in mid-March, every time you watch him sprint, it feels like a test of that surgically repaired knee.
Yeah, all three guys gave that a good chase. Looked like they were running after a running back in football because they all were weaving because the ball was being blown around up there by the wind so much. But Andrew Tolles, his health, it's not even a question right now.
It's passed every test so far this spring. Down and away, 3-2.
That breeze is accentuating Rich Hill's curveball here. He's having trouble estimating how much it's going to break. When the wind is blowing out into your face as a pitcher, it really can help that curveball. And it's not only blowing out a little bit, it's blowing towards left field to really make it big.
A great exhibit of it there. Problem is, a guy like Rich Hill doesn't need a whole lot of help to make that curveball any bigger.
This thing is breaking almost twice as much when he gets it started as a strike and ending up a ball, because your arm and hand kind of get around the ball a little bit more. But that strike pitch right there dropped out of the sky.
1 on, 1 out. Here's Jorge Soler. Dealt to the Royals in exchange for Wade Davis by the Chicago Cubs prior to last season, and it was a monster disappointment in his first year with Kansas City. Soler spent much of the year in AAA and put up good numbers there, but it's not what they had in mind. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Soler being shown the respect from Rich Hill of using the hesitation move here early in the game here, only giving up the 1 hit, but Rich Hill already experimenting out there, trying to break up the hitter's timing.
Get the pedals on here, lemonade. Get your nice cold, refreshing lemonade.
Rich Hill played his college ball at Michigan, as many of you know, and is bullish on the Wolverines this March. Wolverines a 3 seed, getting the dance going. That's a bullet of a base hit towards the left field corner. Tolles able to cut it off. Throw goes into second. Soler in there safely with a double. Jay stops at third. They're at second and third with 1 out.
A nice line drive, double down there, but 2 nice plays by Andrew Tolles in left field. First cutting the ball off and then throwing it to the correct base to try and keep the double play in order. A strong enough throw into second base to freeze the runner at third, but still have the attempt from Utley to record the out.
Another example of Tolles looking good, running well with the knee fully healed at this point. There's another new Royal, Lucas Duda, looking at ball one. Really the only thing Tolles hasn't done in left so far is lay out and make a diving attempt. And like only Andrew can say, I'm not trying to get hurt in a practice. So he's waiting for the real games before he totally lays out. Now we'll see if there's a ball that he needs to lay out for here and instincts take over in the spring training game, but that's the one thing that he's yet to do, the one hurdle that he's yet to clear. Bill comes home with a 2-0. It's a nice curve and a strike.
For me, there's two ways you have to dive. The sliding of feet first, and then the diving of head first, possibly sliding or in the outfield. And he's passed with flying colors. He's had 3 or 4 hard slides this spring, breaking up double plays around the base and actually trying to steal a bag.
2-1. Another hard hit ball and another base hit. They give the wave to Soler. And no throw from Trace Thompson. That's a 2-run single for Lucas Duda, and the Royals lead it here in the first.
Rich Hill throws this ball probably a little up from where he wanted it. It was on the outer half. It looked like a pickoff to second base might have been on. Yasmani Grandal coming out of his crouch there, looking like he wanted to throw.
Some loud contact against Hill, the last 2 batters. And now Chesler Cuthbert goes after the first one, strike one.
Rich Hill with an outstanding 12-win season last year, but people do remember that he struggled in a lot of first innings and then recovered the outing. And it has been a place where they really concentrated on this spring of him coming out of the bullpen and being even more than ready to compete. And I think he even dabbled with his routine a little bit as far as the intensity and when he would have time to get into the dugout and rest before then kind of coming out to the mound, almost like it would be the second inning.
Cuthbert grounds one inside the bag, fair ball. Putting Tolles on the move again. A fan reaches out and interferes with the ball, and so for the second day in a row here at Camelback Ranch, it'll be the umpire's judgment where the runners would have been without the interference. He says Duda would make it to third. Calls it a double for Cuthbert. 4th hit of the inning for Kansas City.
Baseball probabilities are not in Rich Hill's favor right now, or the Dodgers. The only hard hit ball was Soler's. These other 3 hits have been weakly hit and have just found holes. You cannot do anything about it but try and eliminate as much damage as possible.
So second and third with one out for Ryan O'Hearn. Made a run of minor leaguers here down in the bottom part of the order. Per usual for a traveling roster, even at this stage of spring training. Hill's first one. Tries to lay off and does. 1-0. Now Hill had the blister issues for the first couple of months last year, similar to the end of 2016. But once Rich Hill got healthy, for the final 3.5 months, he had the #1 earned run average in the National League with enough innings to qualify for that. That starts really in mid-June, at which point he had a +5 ERA. The walk rate was at a career high as he was trying to find the feel around the blister issues. And really just trying to find the feel overall, because it was a slow ramp up in spring, and then he was obviously slowed down because of the blisters. Regardless of how those were making him feel, the fact that he couldn't totally invest himself in getting ready, it was until mid-June when he felt like himself, and the numbers showed it. "37-year-old's 2-1 drops out of the sky for a strike, 2-2. 38 now, beg your pardon. Celebrated his birthday last week. I don't think Rich would mind me getting that one wrong, though. Giving him a year back. Curve smacked in the air to left. Tolles on the move towards the corner. That ball is blown out of here. With the wind blowing right in that direction, it aids Ryan O'Hearn on a 3-run home run.
Well, that ball was blown out of here. Of the 4 of the 5 hits, only 1 hit hard, including this one off the end of the bat. The wind is blowing so hard it got out of here so fast that it wasn't even able to curve foul. Most balls on a normal day would just curve foul, and that'd be a strike.
Cam Gallagher takes the ball.
It's a good example of a first inning and why sometimes in camp big league pitchers want to pitch in the B game, because in the B game they can flip it as soon as their pitch count gets up. Right here in the A game over here on the main field, you have to stay out there and get all 3 outs no matter what your pitch count is. And one of the things about increasing your endurance as a pitcher is not only your pitch count going up, but you're hot and cold. So how many times you sit on the bench, watch the offense, then go out and pitch. So harder to simulate that right now. And in some ways, you would think about getting him out of this inning and letting him throw a simulated game down in the bullpen to get his ups and his hots and his colds.
Even in this real game.
Yeah, because, you know, you get him to 35, 40 pitches. You don't want to do that.
Pop fly to the corner. The wind again grabs a hold of it and pulls it right by Andrew Tolles. It ricochets in the corner. Tolles picks it up and guns wide of third. A triple for Cam Gallagher on a routine fly ball that the wind baptized into an extra base hit.
It's not gale force winds here, but they've got to be close to 30 miles an hour. Andrew Tolles at every segment of that fly ball, not sure where it's going to land. And runs into the pole right there. Ended up shaking his wrist a little bit in his arm after banging into that. In some ways, go ahead and take a visit here. Turn this into a in-between innings for Rich Hill to get a breather. Like I said, you might want to get him out of this and turn it into a simulated game in the bullpen for him. You know, we've watched all the other starters and even relievers that are trying to extend themselves after their outings and after their interviews with Alana. They jog down to the bullpen and throw another inning. Well, he might need to throw 2 or 3.
And Mark Pryor, who is in for Rick Honeycutt as the Dodger pitching coach this week while Rick's away for some family stuff, comes out for a visit with his old Cubs teammate Rich Hill. Still just 1 out. And the 8th man to bat in the inning is Ryan Goins. There's a strike. Well, Andrew Tolles is getting his money's worth out and left, isn't he?
Yeah, it was tough out there yesterday for Matt Kemp. There was some wind and breeze blowing and some odd balls, but today extra special out there in left field.
Located the curve there, drag foul, strike 2.
We haven't had many of these days where the wind has been so strong that it really disrupted the game. There have been offensive days when it's blowing out and some good days for the pitchers when it's blowing in, but nothing like this.
How'd your hair do pregame?
I saw the predictions on the wind went a little heavier on the gel today.
Nice. 1 and 2.
Yeah, I always know when I've had my heavy gel days because people come up and ask me, did you get a haircut? So I guess it's just less poofy and looks shorter.
Right. A little tighter look.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Justin Timberlake, you know.
Right. Oral, Timberlake, you know.
You know.
A tomahawks a liner into center that'll sink in front of Jock Peterson and bring home Cam Gallagher for another run. A 6th spot for the Royals against Hill. Dave Roberts coming out, and I think he's going to do exactly what you're talking about. The plan was for 4 innings, 60 pitches. And if he wants to get to those 60 pitches, it's going to be down in the bullpen, out of the pressures of a real game.
He'll take a little rest. I'm sure we'll take a little break here, but after that break, Rich Hill will probably start throwing in the bullpen.
Come back in a moment.
Is your car smart enough for
is entering his 14th professional season. His first one with the Dodgers. Originally was a San Diego draft pick and has bounced around, and in Dodger camp now trying to clean up the mess here in a 6-run first inning against Rich Hill.
In the business, this is called a jick, and it's just in case, and you are glad to get in the game. You dress in the big league locker room area, you come out, you have lunch with the big leaguers, and you might just get in the game.
Ramon Torres with a man at first and 1 out. Ramos pitches and Torres takes low. So 6 runs on 7 hits against Hill. On a funky day where, you know, number 1, it's spring training, so you're working through things to begin with. But number 2, that wind played tricks on the ball a couple of times. One time turning it into a homer, one time turning a fly ball into a triple. That's not to say that Rich Hill was at his best, but I don't think it was nearly as bad as that line is going to show, getting just 1 out and giving up these 6 runs. Ramos to the plate, 2-0. A pop-up. See if Grandal can find it. He can't. Ramos takes charge, and then it falls. And Grandal spotted it until the last moment. Ramos didn't get there in time to help.
Wind, high sky will make big leaguers look like little leaguers, and the fans, after this one drops, give them a little bit of an earful. But not much you can do on that. When 2 big leaguers can't find it, pretty much nobody's going to find it.
So 2-1 now. 2-2.
Well, this outing by Rich Hill is going to disguise what a good spring training he has, and if other teams just look at the statistics from spring training. They're going, oh, 38, he's getting old, he's not throwing the ball well. Well, they're going to be wrong, because he's throwing it like he's just a tick over 30 right now.
Torres down on strikes. Nice looking breaking ball from Ramos. 2 out.
And there goes the scorecard.
Yeah.
Have they batted around? Or just through the order?
They've definitely batted around.
They've batted around.
Second time up there for John Jay. It was a softly hit single that started the day against Hill. After Rich had gotten ahead of him 0-2, fought one off, dropped it into right center. Ball's behind here, 0-1. Huge curveball. Boy, is Rich Hill still in there?
He flicks it up there pretty good. Probably has a very high spin rate, but the eye test tells you he's spinning it.
Former dirtbag, Long Beach State alum. Major League journeyman. Bringing an 0-2. Another curve. Jay chops it to the right side for a base hit, his second of the inning. Goins headed first to third, and they've got him cornered with 2 out.
2 hits for John Jay in the first inning, and you string them together. I don't think they reach the center field wall, but he'll take them.
Alex Gordon took strike 3, called his first time. Second at bat of the inning, second different pitcher that he's faced in this inning. Ramos to Gordon with the first pitch curve in the dirt. Ramos from Los Angeles. He was born 2 years after his parents emigrated to Los Angeles from Mexico. Stayed around for college. He's bounced all over. San Diego, Tampa Bay, to the Angels, to the Rangers. Now in camp with the Dodgers. Let's the 1-0 fly. And Gordon takes it upstairs for ball 2.
First and foremost, he's left-handed. Secondly, he can spin the baseball, and you can always bring him in as a one-batter / one-inning lefty. So he will get a lot of opportunities to find a big league job.
That's a strike, 2-1.
Strike zone will probably open up a little bit here today after this lengthy first inning. First half of inning.
Yeah, still there.
Always a fun question in a cocktail party.
What's that?
How many outs in an inning?
Yeah, it's a good starter.
I don't think you're.
No, I'm with you, man.
You're serious?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, all right.
Here's a 2-1. It's low and away for ball 3. And Alex Gordon, who is one of the only guys still around for Kansas City that was part of that back-to-back pennant run. One of the all-time great Royals, trying to have a bounce-back season after a nightmare last year, where he was one of the worst hitters in baseball by a lot of measures. Ramos brings him a 3-1, and Gordon watches it clip the corner for strike 2.
A lot of times comeback players of the year are coming back from an injury, but Alex Gordon has a very low bar to get over. Could really be a qualifier for that award at the end of the year if he has a good year.
Runner will take off from first with his 3-2 pitch. There he goes. Here it comes, and it's inside for ball 4. What about that zone opening up, Oral?
It should have. I've got to get a message down there.
I'm sure Alan Porter has an earpiece in listening to you. So there now. Bases loaded, 2 out in the first. 6-0 Kansas City. Scoring started with a Soler double. Trying to keep on some more. Goins at third, Jay at second, and Gordon at first. Strike 1 on Soler. There's not a more impressive eye test guy, just get off the bus test guy, than Jorge Soler across baseball.
And right there, he's been watching the wind blow out the left-handers with bat off the end of the bat, hitting home runs on foul balls. So he's like, all I got to do is hit a ball to left field.
He does, but it's foul. Boy, the ball he hit for his double, he absolutely crushed. It's the hardest hit ball of this inning. Just happened to be a low line drive.
If he gets it up in the wind, he'll hit it over the front office.
On a day like this, with the power that he's got,
he's definitely trying to pull the ball. The first 2 swings there, he is starting early.
see if they try to feast on that with the breaking ball. He takes it for ball 1. Soler out of Cuba. 5th season with Major League time coming up for the 26-year-old. On a 1-2. Cracks it in the air. Short right field. Hernandez and Utley out. And on an afternoon that's already proven difficult with the sun and with the wind, the Silver Fox puts an end to an ugly top of the first. Dodgers coming to bat for the first time already after this. First time on this nice afternoon in Glendale, and Andrew Tolles already getting his work in defensively today to lead it off. Corey Seager back on the big league side as the designated hitter today. Then is Jock Peterson in center. Grandal hits clean up. Kike Hernandez facing another right-hander today and starting at first base, followed by Chase Utley, Thompson, Peter, and Solano at the bottom of the order against the 34-year-old veteran Jason Hamill.
Jason, a 4-pitch pitcher. The slider is the out pitch. Kind of has some tilt to it. 2 planes. The fastball gets a lot of fly balls, which would not help him here today. But the 35-year-old, 34-year-old will be sitting in the middle of that Kansas City rotation.
Second season with the Royals, over from the Chicago Cubs prior to last year. Here he comes with the first one to Tolles, and he pounces on it, bangs it into right center for a base hit. Tolles hustling out of the box. He'll test Soler, and he's in there easily with a feet-first slide that looked a little bit unsure. A double on the first pitch of the day.
Andrew Tolles, who is proving that the legs are healthy and the bat is back, busting it out of the box, and a little awkward slide at second, maybe kind of cruising in there thinking he's going to stand up, and then says, oh, maybe we'll just go down a little bit here and pop it up.
So a double opens it, and Corey Seager stands in. Fastball is low. It's 1-0.
Good day for offense,
I guess. 8 hits for the Royals in that 6-run top half, and the Dodgers getting a double on the first pitch here in the bottom of the first.
The 12 guys have come to the plate, and 9 have gotten hits.
Wow. Tolles takes off, and no throw from Gallagher.
Showing that anything that happened at second base in an awkward way, there is no risk of health, and he feels great. A very hard slide there at third base. Andrew turning him over.
It was almost as if he wanted to prove to himself that he could do the feet first slide more smoothly, more confidently. 2-1. Doesn't take long for Andrew Tolles to remind you why people grew to love him so quickly in Dodger blue. Breaking into the majors in 2016 in a year where he started the year in A-ball, and then opening day lineup last year before the injury. Does so many things well, always plays the game hard, and then the relatable backstory of having overcome some things and really being left for dead as far as his pro status. Seager grounds one up the middle that'll bring home Tolles. Nice lunging play by Goins to get Seager. The Dodgers on the board, 6-1 here in the first.
Corey in his second day in a row in the game. Played in the backfield yesterday and played in the field today, DHing, and continued to build up his endurance for 9 innings.
With one out, Jock Peterson for the first time today.
You really see the depth of the Dodger organization and the quality of the players 1 through 25 when the roster is finally configured. And even deeper than that, when yesterday you had Turner out there, Kike Hernandez at short, Kemp in left, Taylor in center, Puig in right, Bellinger, Forsythe, Barnes, and now a very representative big league team the next day, and very few guys playing 2-a-days or 2 days in a row. Kike played short yesterday, first base today. Seager, we just mentioned, played on the backfields at shortstop and DHing today.
Peterson in an 0-2 hole. Here comes Hamill. It's fouled back. Jock having a tough spring. And it's a tough spring to have a tough spring with the competition that he's in for a spot in the outfield. Chris Taylor having taken over center field last year, and Peterson really fighting for a part of the left field job. Dave Roberts says, though, that he likes, despite the results not being there, likes where Peterson's trending as far as the swing, that it's as healthy looking as he's seen in a while. And expect some loud contact from him in the coming days. On an 0-2, he takes down and in fact it clipped his foot, and Hamill loses him on an 0-2 pitch.
This wind is not only an advantage for the hitters, it's becoming a huge disadvantage for throwing the baseball. And pitchers are all having trouble feeling what is going to happen when they spin the ball a little bit with the two-seam fastball, with the slider, with the curveball. Saw a lot of pitches get away from Rich Hill. Seeing some now by Hamill.
1-on-1 out, and Grandal for the first time today hitting cleanup. Breaking ball is up 1-0. Wasn't in the big league game yesterday, but like Corey Seager was on the backfield. He caught Alex Wood's game. On this 1-0, Grandal swings away, pounds one to deep left center field. Forget about it. Way out of here from Yasmani Grandal. Opposite field, big-time power from the Dodger catcher, and they've cut the deficit in half here in the first.
The way this wind is blowing, Joe, I'll tell you what, this score might end up rivaling one of the NCAA games. This ball was a good, nice, solid gapper. It ended up more straightaway left field because of the wind moving it over and out very quickly.
Second home run of the week for Grandal. Up comes Hernandez, who watches Hamill fill up the strike zone. 0-1. TK knows a little something about homering lately, too. Had a 3-run shot last night, knocked in 5 with a 3-run homer and a 2-run double. And another opportunity here against a right-handed pitcher. He wants as many of those as he can get to prove that he can be more of an everyday guy.
What a weapon he could be if he hits righties also. And what a rest component for almost anybody on the field. But then not only resting someone to let them have an off day, but bringing in a very potent bat. I'm not sure it will even be an oddity to bring him into the lineup because he might be playing all over the field on a daily basis. He keeps this up. Dave Roberts a little disgusted with that check swing call.
Fights it off, stays 1-2. He started 2 games at first base last year. He'd gotten a first base glove for the World Baseball Classic with Puerto Rico. And put it to use for the first time as a pro last season. Doesn't matter where, he'll do it. He'll do it happily. 1-2. 2-2.
His Achilles heel right there. That slider low and away that he used to chase. He did a nice interview with Alana on yesterday's broadcast and actually humbly talked about that, how that's one of the holes that he is filling or not offering at.
Challenged him with a fastball, and it's popped into left center. First chance for the Royals to have to deal with that wind, and it's handled well. And short by Goins. 2 out. In a 6-3 game in the first, up comes Chase Utley. "39 years old. 16th major league season coming up for him. Tailing fastball in for a strike. Hard to believe this would be his 4th year with the Dodgers. Part of one season when he was traded over 2015, then 2 full seasons. I don't know, 1 pitch. He pops it off the end of the bat, slicing into left field for Alex Gordon. Dodgers done in the first, but they get 3. The 2-run home run from Yasmani Grandal, the highlight of the inning. 9 runs combined through 1 inning in Glendale. Top two, Royals in front of the Dodgers 6-3. A lot of offense in that first inning on a windy day. Cesar Ramos already on for Rich Hill. Lucas Duda to lead off this second, and he takes a strike. Nice signing for Kansas City. Pretty affordable contract, as their previous first baseman Eric Hosmer signed biggest deal of the offseason in San Diego. The curve for a strike, and it's 0-2. And the detractors of what San Diego did point to Lucas Duda partly as their example of why San Diego didn't need to pay that kind of money for Hosmer. I think Hosmer pretty clearly a better player than Lucas Duda, but by that much, that's somewhat hard to justify. 1-2.
More specific ideas in all the front offices around baseball on the player's value, calculated in not only statistically but what age they are, and projections on statistics maybe going up for a younger player and down for an older player.
Well, Ramos wanted it on the inside corner. Alan Porter won't give it to him, and Duda stays up there with a count of 2-2.
Seems like at the top of the talent heap and at the bottom of the talent heap, it's a little bit more black and white. But there's a lot of gray area now below the superstars and all-stars, where front offices are really thinking hard about how much money to spend on those players.
Mile to go for Peter, who is positioned where the shortstop normally is in the shift. Makes the catch. We look at our Carl's cam, and it's all the wind-blown balls in that first inning.
Highlights and lowlights. That wind-blown home run. This one's going to turn into an adventure for Andrew Tolles and a triple for Gallagher. And wow, was the wind just gusting and blowing up to about 30 miles an hour. Hard to see in the high sky with the sun and the wind. Yasmani Grandal had the good and the bad of it. This being the good part, the home run that gave the Dodgers a few runs.
One out. Chester Cuthbert takes ball one. I think his ball was out no matter what, but it was really gone because of that wind. 20 miles per hour. Good thing you wore extra gel.
I think we're going to have plenty of time for those extra comments throughout this game.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Think of the gel.
I think you look good, man.
I appreciate it. I sit next to a very young man, and I don't want to look old, so I've got to keep working at it.
Keep putting that makeup on. War paint, I like to call it.
How much sleep did you have last night?
7.5.
We're going to be together a long time today. We got dinner after this with the ladies.
Cuthbert fights one off into center, a base hit.
Like you just said in my headset, don't tell the wives. Yes, it's with our wives, Mike.
Ninth hit of the day for the Royals, and as you saw in the Carl's cam replay, a lot of them not hit particularly hard. They've just found some holes. 6-3 the scores. Ryan O'Hearn comes up. And then here's a beneficiary of that wind with a 3-run home run in the first inning. Ramos pitches. O'Hearn goes after it. Bangs one into right center. Regardless of the wind, that thing's gone. His second home run in as many innings today. That one actually somewhat into the wind, and that it's blowing out towards the left field corner.
That ball was smoked. You were right, Joe. He did not get much help, and it actually might have hurt it a little bit. A couple of nice swings. This one much better than the first home run. First one aided. That one a little better.
You think he probably got a little flack for the first one in the dugout and said, watch this?
Exactly.
So it's now 8-3. Cam Gallagher looks at a strike.
Could end up being a basketball score. First half of an NCAA tournament game.
Speaking of, how's your bracket looking?
I haven't checked yet, but yours must be perfect if you're asking.
Thank you for asking. Yeah.
What do you have, 2 right?
One, yeah, 2 for 2.
Way to go.
Thank you. You are too on one of your brackets, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I've got to have a combination there of a couple different ones. I should be undefeated through about 8 games at least.
Right. One way or another. A 1-1 pitch. Wrapped around the plate, ball 2.
So you only filled out 1 bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Will you take a picture of it and text it to me?
Sure.
Oh, I see it.
Three and 1.
Who do you have winning it all?
Got Arizona.
As a 4 seed, you said.
Right. Royals catcher today, Cam Gallagher. Drives one the other way. Trace Thompson has plenty of room for it. 2 out.
Extra special attention to anything in the air right now for every fielder. No one is taking anything for granted as far as picking the ball up or then tracking it with the wind. As you see Trace smiling over there at Chalk Peterson in center. Andrew Tolles has had some adventures already today.
Two gone in the second. Here's the 8-hitter Ryan Goins, who drove in a run with a base hit his first time. Boy, who didn't, though, for Kansas City in that first inning? Mostly against Rich Hill. It's at foul. Goins, a former Toronto Blue Jay. Ramos downhill with an 0-1. Goins climbs the ladder and fouls it back. Second of 3 games this spring between these clubs. Remember, they played in July last year to finish the first half, and the Dodgers swept Kansas City. Included in the final day of the first half, a lightning quick Clayton Kershaw start. 0-2 on the outside corner, strike 3. Ramos sits down Goins, and the Royals finished in the second. .60 pitches or 4 innings in the game today, but Royals had him out of there in the first. He's been working down in the bullpen since coming out.
Yeah, he's working on his third inning down there, one in the game, and or a couple outs in the game, and then some ups and downs down there. I think he'll probably even do one more after this one.
Bottom of the Dodge order here in the second. Trace Thompson to lead it off against Jason Hamill, who fires a fastball down and away.
Rich will not be in the best of moods after the game, or maybe even for a few days, because it just interrupts your preparation. It's nothing about the results. It's the preparing for the season that you feel like you've just been thrown a little bit out of kilter. The public message might be everything's fine.
Thompson grounds out to Goins. It's 1 out.
Privately, personally, I would be a little irritated with the wind.
Yeah. But if you go publicly and say that, you sound like you're complaining, making excuses, right?
And then you have follow-up interviews to go over it. So you have to sometimes think about how far does a quote take me into more and more work with the media.
Chuck Henley Jansen getting loose. Jake Peter now. That's a strike. Kind of guy having as good of a spring as anybody in Dodger camp. In fact, this guy's leading the team in RBIs this spring training, 14 of them. A couple more last night. First year in the organization, first full season in the organization, over from the Chicago White Sox, and not a whole lot of room on the major league roster for a guy like him at this point. But as you detailed last night, as we talked about many times this spring, well, they tend to operate. Figure if Peter keeps doing what he's been doing this spring, he'll get his opportunity. And he does continue it. Whistling one by Hamill for a base hit into center.
Well, on his post-game interview with Dave Roberts, one of her questions was on how comfortable Jake Peter is for Dave Roberts, and he said he's very comfortable. There might not end up being room, and Dave didn't allude to that, but you can read between the lines. But he said he is very comfortable with having him contribute to this season with the Dodgers.
1 on 1 out. The veteran Donovan Solano, who's been around, time in the majors with the Marlins and the Yankees, and everybody around Dodger camp has loved the way this guy's gone about his business. Strike one. It's been an important piece with Corey Seager not at full go, getting a lot of starts at shortstop. Out of Columbia. Hamill coming inside with an 0-1. Solano popping it up. This will test Cam Gallagher's shades, and he's able to make the catch. 2 out.
You know, one of the assets, major assets the Dodgers have is their coaching staff, and the front office can go out and seek guys that do something exceptionally well but have a need in another part of their game. And if it happens to be finding a position, Chris Woodward is an amazing teacher of infield defense. If it happens to be hitting, Turner Ward and Brant Brown now, the hitting department, if you find a guy who's a great glove guy, they might be able to add some points to their average and some pop to their bat. So with a coaching staff that can turn portions of a career around, it gives you a little bit a better idea of what type of players to look for.
Andrew Tolles chases the first one, strike one.
I mean, it's been known over the years with Rick Honeycutt at the helm of the pitching staff that he's turned a lot of careers around, and the Dodgers have been very good at shifting roles with starting pitchers to the bullpen or portions of their lineup that they want them to attack. So it's a real good combination of finding ability and then enhancing ability.
One ball and one strike. You mentioned in the first inning when Tolles was running after a little bloop with Jake Peter and Donovan Solano, everybody charging after it, looked like 3 defenders in a football game. Andrew has that in his blood. His dad was an NFL linebacker. Played his college ball at Tennessee, and that's actually where Andrew started his college baseball career. But his dad was a star linebacker there and then a first-round pick with the New Orleans Saints. Andrew played football himself as a safety. Gave that up to focus on baseball. Ahead in the count, 2-1.
The wind is blowing so strong, I'm getting a little seasick looking at the monitor. I think I'm on a cruise ship.
Yeah, a little bit. Runner at first, 2 gone, and Andrew Toll smacks a ground ball to the shortstop Goins, and that does it. In the second, Kansas City 8, the Dodgers 3 as we move along to the third.
Fresh made tostada.
Of the Los Angeles Dodgers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Dodgers. It's the big fella for his Cactus League debut. Kenley Jansen has pitched on the backfield some, but here he is in his first official game of the spring.
They have slow played Austin Barnes' arm, Corey Seager's arm, and Kenley Jansen. They have slow played everything about his spring with a tremendous workload last year. 3 years in a row now with 40+ saves, tying Eric Gagne for the only 2 guys that have done that in Dodger history.
Third inning, all Royals so far on a very offensive afternoon with the wind blowing out. He'll get 9-1 and 2 in the order. Ramon Torres to lead it off. And Jansen's first pitch is a slider for a strike. One of the greatest of this era, Kenley Jansen, entering the second year of his new contract. There's the cutter, quickly 0-2. You know, for a while in the offseason prior to last year, it looked like it was maybe less than a 50-50 chance he would be back in Dodger blue. Folks had him pegged as a Washington National. Miami had a pretty heavy pursuit of him. He makes quick work of Torres for the first out. And on 3 pitches, he's got his first strikeout of the spring.
One of the ways that he has grown throughout his career is not only getting people out, but doing it efficiently, and can't do it much more efficiently than that. If you're going to strike somebody out, took only 3.
Kenley's even admitted, Oral, that the morning of his wedding, which was December 10th, 2016, he woke up thinking that he was signing with Washington. That's ball 1 on John Jay. He had had lunch earlier in the week with the front office. Mike Rizzo, who's the GM of the Nationals, met ownership, got their formal pitch, told him, look, you're the final piece that we need to bring a world championship to Washington. They hadn't had one there since 1924. Got the official offer. It was more than the Dodgers had offered. It's a record deal for a reliever. And then in the hotel room, and this story's been told before, but in the hotel room prior to the wedding, with the groomsmen in there, the barber was in there, they're all getting haircuts. That's a strike, 2-1. Jansen and Justin Turner, even though they'd been together for a few days, had their first conversation that was really about the negotiations, about baseball. And Turner didn't try to actively recruit him or convince him, but they just kind of talked through things together for the first time. There's a hesitation and a pop-up. Behind third, Peter and Solano makes the catch, 2 out. Biggest message that Turner wanted Jansen to take away from those conversations was, look, if you go somewhere else, there are just so many unknowns, and it might be good. It might turn out to be a great spot for you and your family, but you can't be sure of it. You can't be sure you'll get along with your teammates. You don't know if you like your manager. I don't know if you have a great relationship with his strength coach like he's developed with Dodgers strength coach Brandon McDaniel. And it might be more money, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be happier than you currently are. A strike on Alex Gordon. And then that night at the wedding, Turner told Jansen that he'd agreed to his own deal. Hoped Kenley would follow him. And the following morning, Kenley Jansen agreed to a deal of his own. Justin Turner was, I think he had hopped islands with his now wife, Courtney, when he got the news. And Jansen basically said he just couldn't imagine, at the end of the day, not being in Dodger blue. Feels at home. The team that signed him originally and didn't want to leave what feels like home. 1-2.
It is a shock when you leave an organization that you love, and comes a moment in time when you might have a choice, or you didn't have a choice. You're released or let go as far as a free agent. And it was a shock for me to look down and see Indians on my chest after being in the Dodger uniform for so long. And it is more than just your teammates that you're leaving. You are leaving a whole organization of everybody that you touch on a daily basis that makes you comfortable.
2-2. Did you try to scrub off the Giants logo when you put that one on?
Yeah, the Giants were actually in the negotiations as far as the choices right away when I was leaving the Dodgers. It came down to the Indians and the Giants. And I chose the Indians at the time. A, I wanted a job, and B, they were scoring 7.5 runs a game the year before, and I thought, you know, even at my age, I can keep people under 7.5.
Yeah, right. 7 ERA, and he's 20-0.
Exactly. I mean, it was quite a year to go over there and experience American League Baseball for the first time, and did it for 3 years with the Indians. The lineups over there are very circular. There's just no rest where you can strategize on how to pitch through a lineup in the National League with the pitcher's slot and the 8th hole.
Gordon lifts a fly ball to right center field. Peterson and Thompson converging. Jock Peterson is under it. And Kenley Jansen's first inning of the spring is 1-2-3.
Training is always live with MLB at Bat. The app will keep you connected every day with live radio calls, video highlights, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB at Bat now. It's your #1 Dodger app.
#1 Dodgers shortstop leads off this third inning. Corey Seager looking at a strike from Jason Hamill. Brought home the Dodgers' first run of the day with a ground out in the first inning after Tolles had doubled to start it and stolen third. One and one.
Hey, what, Rusty won't, down the show, won't return my text.
Plays off, 2 balls and a strike. Facing the 35-year-old Jason Hamill. 13th Major League season coming up for him. Royals are the 6th team that he's played for. Fouled off, 2-2. A couple of years ago, Hamill was dealing with a weird injury. He was getting bad cramping in his pitching hand, right in the palm of his pitching hand. Goes into the doctor, and the doctor's advice for him, PCP. You know what PCP was? Potato chip prescription. It's a full count. Oh, there's lots of potassium.
Yeah.
Lots of salt to help retain water. And he started eating potato chips between starts, even between innings. And in the first 6 games that he was on his PCP, 6-0 with a sub-1 ERA.
And no cramps?
No cramps. You don't put up a 6-0 with a sub-1 with cramping in your hand. Seager sends a high drive to straightaway center. That ball is off of the batter's eye. Home run, Corey Seager.
That ball was well struck by Corey Seager, DHing today, but will be the everyday shortstop for the Dodgers, of course. And you can see he went down and got that and leveraged that ball out of here.
Second Dodger home run today. Seager joins Yasmani Grandal, and again they've got the deficit a little bit closer. 8-4 here in the third. And Jock Peterson stands in. Got hit by an 0-2 pitch his first time. Here he gets ahead of Hamill 1-0.
12 runs so far. What do you think the total's going to be today?
36.
Okay.
I'm just doing the math.
I know. It's kind of the under. There's no outs.
That's true. That is true. Can I answer you when the inning's over?
Yeah.
Hamill, that's the 2-0 fly, and Peterson watches ball 3. Four-pitch walk. Peterson's been on both times today. And with one on and nobody out, here's Grandal.
You can tell yourself that it doesn't matter what is happening in this game because of the way the wind's blowing, and probably a situation that you might encounter only once the whole season of 2018, but it still frustrates you when you're on the mound, and it can make you kind of dabble around the strike zone trying to get some swing and misses.
Grandal crushed a 2-run homer to the opposite field his first time up. Hamill out of the stretch comes home, and he's in there with strike 1.
You're right, Joe. He did crush this ball. A few of these have been wind-aided, but not this one. He knew it right as soon as he finished his swing and dropped the bat. Broke right into the home run trot.
Nobody bat drops like Grandal bat drops. Oh, and 2. Took another big rip at it. Are you a bat drop guy or a bat flip guy? Or neither?
It didn't offend me as a pitcher if a guy hit a home run and kind of had a little bit of a celebration. And I just thought it's turnaround is fair play, but I wasn't one to celebrate strikeouts. But, you know, a big out as you're walking off the mound, a fist bump or something. So, yeah, it's part entertainment, and you know the emotion guys are playing with. And some guys can contain it, and other guys like to let it out. There probably is a line somewhere, though. Somewhere between Yasiel Puig and Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah. I think each one of those guys would agree that the other has stepped just beyond it.
Yeah, their own line.
Right. Emma home with a 1-2. Peterson runs. A swing and a miss. Throw from Gallagher not in time. And Peterson has stolen second.
Whatever the scoreboard says, it doesn't matter. Dave Roberts wanting to push the envelope. Let guys experience what they can do this year as far as jumps and their own speed. And so you will see this throughout spring training, disregarding the scoreboard and just working on things.
Man at second with 1 out for Kike Hernandez. Popped to short his first time. The first baseman for the Dodgers today. Hamels 0-1. Peterson cracks his bat on a little flare, short left, sinking in for a base hit. Well, Hernandez will take it. And the Dodgers at the corners now with 1 out.
Little pop-up for an out in the first at bat. This one a pop-up for a hit. Kike a little disappointed, but professionally runs it out. Kike brings so much to the Dodgers as far as how many places he can play. And one of the other things I think he really brings to the Dodgers is Chase Utley. Because if Kike couldn't play everywhere on the field and do everything, the spot that Chase Utley is in is an emotional leader, an ability leader on the field, but he doesn't play a lot of places. And you know what? Because Kike is so good everywhere, it's a lot of flexibility in another roster spot that would keep a guy like Chase Utley.
That's a really interesting point, because you only have 25 spots, and you've got to make, especially in this day and age, each one of them count. Utley goes back up the middles. Positioned well was Goins. He'll step in the bag and throw him out to double play. We'll keep this conversation going into the middle innings. The Dodgers trail the Royals 8-4. on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. and by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. Just like Kenley Jansen, Josh Fields ready to make his Cactus League debut as he's had a bit of a slow ramp up, a little nagging thing here and there, but all seems to be well with him as they're trending towards opening day for the right-hander.
Last season, an ERA under 3 and an opponent's batting average under 200. That tells you right away a very valuable part of the bullpen. The injury to Tom Kohler has accentuated that fact that they're hoping that Josh Fields gets off to a fast start this year.
Part of the order, Soler, Duda, and Cuthbert coming up for Kansas City. And I want to go back to the conversation you started at the end of last season, and that is how Kike Hernandez, in a way, makes Chase Utley a thing on this 2018 Dodger roster.
I think Chase Utley is a valuable piece of the organization, and they wanted him in the organization. I think Andrew Friedman said early in the winter that Chase would already be signed if he was a right-handed bat. But the fact that he was still left-handed the whole career and that wasn't really a need for the Dodgers, it came down to the very end and the beginning of spring training before Chase was signed to his 2-year deal. But the fact that Kike Hernandez can do so much gives you a lot more flexibility with that last roster spot to add such an integral ingredient to the Dodger team and to have the Silver Fox still around.
Soler cuts and misses 1-2. And so basically, Kike Hernandez makes it so you can afford to carry a guy who is not who he once was, and who plays one spot yet is only going to play that spot once or twice a week.
Right, and Chase can play first base and fill in, and he'll even scoot on over to third. But really, second base is the most comfortable and best place for him. And you want him around, and you want him on the team for ability and everything else that he means to everyone in the organization.
Soler flies out to Tolles in left.
And Jerry Hairston Jr., our compadre, almost pioneered the idea of a super utility guy because he thought he was one.
I was going to say, wow, you're giving Jerry a lot of ammo there.
Until the very end there.
Yeah, right.
But you know what? If Kike starts hitting right-handers as well as he's hit left-handers in the last few years and plays all the different positions and is in there more on a daily basis, he will definitely be super utility.
A strike on Lucas Duda, who a year ago, while he was with the New York Mets in an interleague game against the Angels, Duda, first baseman, so you get to have relationships and conversations with each guy that gets on if you want. Well, he took that opportunity to pick Mike Trout's brain a little bit. Behind 0-2. And he had watched Trout. Obviously, everybody watches Trout, but up close for the first time playing in those games. And one of the things that stood out to him was how deep Mike Trout let the ball get into the zone. And Duda thought that he was having a tendency to try and make contact too far out in front. And so he started to pick Trout's brain about it that weekend. Takes a ball, it's 1-2. He really struggled against off-speed pitches as a result of that philosophy, trying to get it out in front. And after that weekend of playing the Angels and picking Trout's brain, Duda really took off and had a nice stretch. Some guys chattier than others down there at first, and Duda, one of the chattier ones. Fields misses high, 2-2.
Feeling like you're beat on a fastball in is probably something that Duda wants to feel now, with talking about that conversation he had with Mike Trout and getting the ball deeper, because easier to start a little bit earlier than to calm yourself down when you're starting way too early.
Bounce to Chase Utley, who's playing in short right field in that positioning, and he throws Duda out. 2 gone. Chesler Cuthbert. Out of Nicaragua. One of the 14 big leaguers from Nicaragua. That's all time, not in the league right now. Check swing foul. Angels had a pitcher last year, J.C. Ramirez, who's from Nicaragua. A couple noteworthy ones. Dennis Martinez. Vicente Padilla is a Nicaraguan.
Dennis Martinez, El Perfecto.
That's a strike, and it's 0-2. Eight-4 Royals. 4th inning. They got 6 in the first against Rich Hill. 2 in the second against Cesar Ramos. Dodgers getting 3 in the first and 1 in the third, with homers from Grandal and Seager. And now Josh Fields trying to follow Kenley Jansen's 1-2-3 third with a 1-2-3 fourth. Cuthbert 2 for 2 today. Doubled and a single, scored after each. Waits on Fields 1-2. It's a fastball that's popped up into center field. Peterson coming on. He's got it. And Fields does the same thing Jansen did in his spring debut. 1-2-3 to the bottom of the 4th. Opening day 2 weeks from today. Secure your tickets by becoming a 2018 season ticket holder. Don't miss a minute of the action. The boys in blue trying to dominate the West again. Go to Dodgers.com/season tickets. They have been flying off the press this offseason. As healthy of a ticket sales stretch as seen in a long time, coming off the pennant win. Trace Thompson leads off against Jason Hamill here in the 4th and takes ball 1. With baseball in attendance year after year. And the crowds became a big part of that 2017 summer. All those come from behind wins. The crowd expected it. The players felt it. A strike, 1-1.
Good. Middle for here. Second goal.
Thompson 0 for 1 today, grounded as short his first time. And on this 1-1 pitch from Hamill, he unloads a liner to short. That's speared by Goins for out number 1.
Well hit, but it'll be an 0-for in the book. But Trace Thompson accomplished everything he wanted to do right there other than get on base. The execution was perfect, but it was recorded as an out.
Jake Peter continued his fantastic spring with a single his first time. Bounces one to second, where Ramon Torres scoops it up and throws him out. 2 up and 2 down for Hamill. He's nearing the end of his road here with a couple of weeks left in spring training. A couple of starts left for the starting pitchers you're seeing at this stage.
A lot of times the second to last start is the one where they go the deepest in the game and the biggest pitch count, and then the start prior to them starting opening day, especially for the first 2 starters. Sometimes the third and fourth and fifth starters like to have their last outing be a lot more innings and more pitches, because they're going to have a little bit more time before their next outing. But the guys that are slotted in like Clayton Kershaw for opening day, a lot of times the second to last outing the longest, and then just a little tune-up somewhere around 3 innings, 65 pitches, maybe 60 pitches, sometimes even less than that, is where the last outing of spring, the workload they're looking for.
Ball and a strike on Solano. Did you change throughout your career how you preferred to ramp up, or were you pretty consistent?
Pretty consistent that the second to last outing I like to go almost 7 innings, and then we backed off in the last outing. You're looking for a little bit of that, if there's a dead arm after that final push of the marathon of trying to go 100, 110 pitches, and then coming back 4 days later after the first time you've done that. Sometimes you're a little stiff. You feel like you got a little flat tire.
Solano bounces it softly to O'Hearn, and Jason Hamill has his first 1, 2, 3 inning of the day. The pitchers have settled in. So have we. On to the 5th, 8-4. Tony Cingrani to handle the 5th for the Dodgers. And moments ago, Alana Rizzo got to spend a few minutes with Rich Hill.
Rich, do you just chalk this one up to kind of one of those days? Certainly the wind didn't do you any favors, but I know you're not the one to make excuses either.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really You know, to put it bluntly, it sucked. So to go out there and pitch like that was not fun. And, you know, the ball came out of my hand, you know, for the most part the way I wanted to. But, you know, obviously this is something where I wanted better results. And, you know, I can sit there and say that the ball came out of my hand the way I wanted to. But the fact of the matter is that it was not a good outing. So got my work done in the bullpen and just move on to tomorrow.
Aside from that, of course, you have that devastating curveball and the breeze, I would imagine, accentuating kind of the feel of that ball. How much does that affect it, and how do you try to work through that?
I don't really look at it as, you know, if the wind had anything to do with the game or anything to do with the pitches. It just comes down to executing pitches and you know, continue to execute pitches, continue to stay aggressive, and you know, have the ball come out of my hand the way I wanted to. And you know, for the most part, like I said today, it did. Just you know, the results weren't there, and you know, I'm disappointed overall.
You guys have expectations of how you want each Cactus League start to go. So how, if at all, does this affect the preparation for the next one?
Well, I was able to get, you know, finish up and get the rest of my work in the bullpen, and you know, just move forward to tomorrow and get ready for the next outing. I think we were going to do a backfield game, but you know, maybe we can make a push to get it out there, and you know, because I'd rather pitch in the games out there than pitch in a backfield game. But either way, you know, to get back on it and get better results next time would be good.
And so much of what you guys also want to do, I would imagine, is not only get that pitch count up and stretch your arm out, but also have those ups and downs and be able to have the hot and the cold. When you don't have a game that you want, how much does that frustrate you?
Yeah, I mean, you only have a certain amount of time in spring training, and you know, you're kind of taking a gamble sometimes on everything going, you know, the way that you want it to. And you know, today was not one of those days where you go out and you get your 70 pitches in or 75 pitches in. Now, you know, you don't want to put yourself up against the backboard, certainly, but you know, I was able to finish in the bullpen and get those pitches in, and you know, just look forward to the next one.
And is this proof positive, the point of those backfield games, that you have more control, and if things are kind of going awry, you can kind of flip it and just start over?
Yeah, I mean, that is the benefit to those games in the backfield. But I mean, obviously, you want to get into games where there is, you know, no flipping or no, you know, rolling of innings. You want to go out there and get your work in and get the job done too at the same time. So that's really something that you know, you take pride in, is going out there and being efficient and you know, going out there with everything that you got.
Appreciate you always taking the time. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, good work, Alana. And as always, thanks to Rich for spending some time with us. Ryan O'Hearn opened this fifth inning against Tony Cingrani with a base hit, and he's now 3 for 3 with a pair of home runs and a single.
I'll tell you, Joe, the guys in the background of the Rich Hill on interview are glad the wind's not blowing in the locker room for that ping pong game going on.
Yeah, I heard that. What stage is the clubhouse tournament at?
Got to be getting down to the semifinals or so.
Yeah. Trace Thompson and Walker Buehler were a pair, I think I heard, and Buehler obviously sent to minor league camp, so that throws a bit of a wrench into the scheduling of it.
Well, they'll bring him over for the big match.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get knocked out just because you get optioned down.
I just mean for the scheduling. It's not as smooth.
Well, there'll be some texting going on, making an appointment for that match.
And 0-1. Cingrani gets in on him. Gallagher pops it up. Hernandez taking charge from first, and then at third, Jake Peter has it blowing his direction.
Well, you just look up and we're in the fifth inning.
Yeah, the first inning took about, what, 45 minutes?
And the wind is almost blowing still as strong. We just haven't had as many balls elevated to left field.
Did you see the new pace of play initiatives in the minors?
I did. Well, going down to a 15-second pitch clock with nobody on base.
And then the really odd one, the one that'll really feel like a weird dream, is that extra innings are beginning with a man on second base.
Yeah.
It's an 0-1 to Goins. Nice looking pitch from Cingrani. Strike two.
The biggest thing that I can think about speeding up the game, I think everybody enjoys it no matter what length of time it is, but if they were a little faster, if we could keep them under 3 hours, maybe around 250 would be great. During the school year, I think you'd get a lot more younger people coming to the game. And when you're guaranteed, maybe as a parent with the commute back from the stadium sometimes, that the game ends at past 10 o'clock and then you have to drive home, some of the little ones, and then get up for school the next day, I think it would help the youngsters get to negotiate their way into, I know it's a school night, but let me go.
Right.
Really? Yeah.
Barely get a piece to stay alive.
Or if you don't get to go to the game, at least you get to stay up at home and watch it on TV. I can't remember when my bedtime got to be 10 o'clock, how old I was. My parents, maybe somewhere around 14 or 15, maybe.
They play any tricks on you and set the clock forward?
No, your parents did that?
Oh, yeah, that happened at the
Oh,
Davis
really?
house.
Oh, wow.
For my little brother and sister, there's no way they got
What, right around dinner, all of a sudden it was 7 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
Would you have one clock in your house? That would take a lot of time to go around and fix all 5 or 6.
This is when they were very young, and it was just the, I believe, the clock on the microwave.
Oh.
I don't know.
You might have just helped some parents.
Under the glove of Peter and into left center. Would have had a chance at turning 2 there. Instead, first and second with 1 out.
Psychologically, if you see that the clock is up to 7 o'clock, you might just start getting tired as a little person.
Right.
You know, just thinking, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be tired now. None of that begging for one more show or one more video game or, hey, when I get killed, I'll go to bed. And the kid's so good at video games, he's up for another hour.
Right.
Parents don't know. Is that still that same life?
Rule that a base hit. Yeah, brings up Torres, first and second with 1 gone. Here comes Singrani. Ball 1. They make clocks now that for little kids' rooms, basically for when they get up in the morning. They're not allowed to leave bed or leave their room until the clock lights up.
Okay.
It's a different thing, but same concept, using clocks to teach kids when they're supposed to be where. It's a little bloop shot. Peterson comes on, lays out to make a nice catch. Zach Peterson, who's put more of a focus on the defense this spring, he says, with a nice play here for out number 2.
A point of emphasis within his interviews, talking about how to improve himself other than the contact, that we all know the power is there, and at the end of last season really started to get the swing together. But really felt like the defense, as far as the concentration, and which leaks into your routes and your jumps, needs to be improved, and he showed it right there.
2 on, 2 out. John Jay at the top of the order. Good stop by Grandal on ball 1. Couple University of Miami guys there, Grandal and Jay, and they're not going to be happy when they get back to the clubhouse and see how their Hurricane season finished. Loyola Chicago with a buzzer-beating 3 to beat Miami. Jay with an awkward swing and a miss, 1-1.
You know, you're speaking about clocks and lighting up so that you can get up now. The sleep experts will tell you that light is a huge component of waking up and being able to fall asleep.
Yeah, that includes the light from your phone or devices, right? You're not supposed to have that with you right before you go to bed.
Yeah, if you think you're going to, go lay in bed and get on the computer until you're tired, or look at your phone until you're tired, the light from the screen is going to keep you awake.
Three and 1.
It's going to trigger the chemicals in your brain that are there to keep you awake, and when it gets pitch black, the sleep experts have told us here around camp that pitch black is perfect, and that's what you want. The removal of all the light in the room so you can go to sleep faster and you'll sleep sounder.
It's a walk, and they're loaded up with 2 out. And then the other side of the spectrum, right, is in the morning where the darker it is, the harder it is to get up early.
Exactly. And, you know, everybody on the Dodger team has been educated in this kind of stuff, being a West Coast team with the time changes and the flights to the East Coast and then the odd hours. A lot of these guys are looking for good night's sleep and that rest. And also then waking up for a day game on the East Coast can be tough.
Some sleep experts say, right, that when the sun comes up, that is the best time for your body to come awake. And in a perfect world, as Alex Gordon fouls off the first pitch, that's when we would all get up without alarm clocks. You'd let the sun tell you.
I'll tell you, during my career, the West Coast, the East Coast, and then you've got a day game, those were the toughest. You really had to start altering your clock as a starting pitcher before we even got on the airplane. So right after the last West Coast start, if we were headed to Montreal or New York or somewhere on the East Coast, those 4 days prior, I would start trying to adjust my clock if I knew I was going to hit that Saturday day game.
And they've done a lot of work in the latest CBA to protect players from having to deal with the worst of those situations you're talking about. Gordon down swinging, and Cingrani's able to get out of a bases loaded jam here in the 5th. We're halfway home in Glendale. Glad you're with us today. Dodgers trying to come from behind. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Acura. Precision crafted performance. Dodgers bringing the top of the order to the plate here in the 5th inning, trailing the Royals 8-4. Although they've settled in as far as the pitching goes, Royals getting all 8 runs over the first 2 today. Matt Flynn on to handle the 5th. Andrew Toll steps in, and Flynn's first pitch of the day is cut on and miss. Flynn, a big guy, spent last season in AAA for the Royals. One ball and 1 strike on Tolles. Doubled on the first pitch of the day and then came in to score the Dodgers' first run. Then popped out on this 1-1 pitch. Tolles looks at a fastball that catches the corner, strike 2. Two and 2. Well, this Royals team had the back-to-back pennants in 2014, 2015 after a long drought. World championship in 1985 and then 28 years without even making the playoffs. Tolles down the line foul. It stays at 2 and 2. So they make the World Series in 2014, lose the heartbreaker to the Giants, get back there in 2015, and beat the Mets. Toll swings and misses on a face-high pitch. We'd like to have that one back. Toll's the first out of the 5th.
Honing in everything. Andrew Toll's not someone who really chases outside the strike zone, but came out of his swing right there in his approach. He'll clean that up before opening day.
Seager now 1 for 2 with a solo homer his last time up. Dodgers trying to mimic what the Royals did as far as the exact time frame from landmark to landmark. That's a strike. 28 years between World Series appearances. That was the case with the Dodgers, 88 to 2017. And then 29 years between World Championships. In the case of the Royals, 85 and then 15. Dodgers trying to go 88 and 18. Back-to-back years of pennant World Series.
I'm in.
All right, me too. Let's do it.
That will be a fun year for everyone.
Hurled to second. And Ramon Torres throws Seager out. Isn't that funny, though? Just the potentially, and Mejia's now checked in at second, beg your pardon, but the symmetry there potentially if the Dodgers were able to make this the year.
And the color of the uniforms.
Something about blue.
That is the goal for the Los Angeles Dodgers. One more victory, cross the finish line.
Jock Peterson with the bases empty and 2 out. Goes after the first pitch. A lazy fly ball that gets a bit of a boost from the wind, but not enough. Billy Burns there to finish the Dodgers in a 1-2-3 fifth. Dodgers trying to climb out of a hole today, down 8-4 as we go to the 6th. Moments ago, Alana Rizzo visited with Kenley Jansen.
Finally, the much-anticipated Cactus League debut for you, Kenley Jansen. It's about time that you finally got to work, and you make quick work of it. A 1-2-3 inning. What was it like to finally get out there?
Awesome. I mean, it was a great time. I enjoyed my vacation, and now I'm back. It's awesome moment. It's fun. It's fun going out there, be in front of your Dodger fans, and just be in the Dodger uniform, being around my guys. It's fun. It's fun, especially know what we try to accomplish this year again, and just go out there and trust that process and get myself ready. It's fun.
You had mentioned trust the process, and honestly, this has been a very different type of spring training for you because they have slow played you quite a bit, but it seems that you're still having that effectiveness. How has it been to be able to kind of buy into that process and trust that even though you don't have a lot of Cactus League outings, you will be ready in 2 weeks?
I mean, still, I still throw like 3 games and B games back on the backfields. I kind of like that personally. It's just make sure you just build your arm strength. I was building my arm strength, get my legs underneath me. So I don't want to come and throw early, and there's no reason to throw a lot of innings. And plus, you don't want to go earlier in the game in a month, and you try to throw hard and the ball's not coming out, and next thing you're affecting other stuff. So it's just trusting the process of get yourself back in shape, get your arm back in shape, and here I am. Feel good.
And Dave said that soon you were going to be going at least 4 innings to be able to get at least those 4 outs. What's your next step? Are you anticipating a back-to-back, or what can we expect for you next?
My back-to-back will be in the freeway series. I'm looking to throw in this Saturday, coming up Sunday, the next Thursday, and then back-to-back in freeway series.
All right, we know you have that cutter. You always tell us you have a slider too. So how much have you been anticipating on working on that?
This is a great time to work on it. Just gotta trust it. I want to put more trust in it. Know I can throw for strike and tight, and it's just gonna make it a little bit more difficult on the hitters.
It's nice to see you out there. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys.
How about that smile on Kenley? You can tell that he was excited to get out there for the first time in real Cactus League game today. Adam Liberatore handling the 6th for the Dodgers. Gets Lucas Duda to fly one to left center field. Peterson and Tolles moving back, and it blows over Jock Peterson and bounces over the wall. And the wind plays tricks with another, although I think both those guys would say they'd like another shot at it.
Center fielder is the captain on this ball, but it looks like early on Andrew Tolles would have had a better chance of catching it because the wind is blowing the ball to him as a left fielder and away from Jock Peterson. So even though the captain might have a bead on it, Andrew might have pulled up a little early on that one.
Cody Ashe now.
It was interesting to listen to Kenley be very confident about trusting the process and how they've slow played him, and he is part of that plan. Dave Roberts today in his media scrum, tongue-in-cheek, said Kenley has had the longest vacation of anyone. But you know, the big fellow with his frame, as he talked about, it's not good to go out there until I was completely in shape to throw the ball hard, because things get out of rhythm when all of a sudden the ball's not coming out as firmly as you like it, so you start to try and force it and you don't get your good mechanics and timing. And with his frame, he wants all the parts in sync because it can get out of whack quicker. Like a tall golfer, a half-inch mistake with your body in golf is going to be 30 yards wide. Well, a tall pitcher can get the same way when you get a little bit of a deviation in your delivery. Not much of a deviation in Kenley's delivery last year with 109 strikeouts and only 7 walks. I think he had it together most of the year.
I'd say so. And included a big league record 51 strikeouts before issuing his first walk. Down the left field line, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. First walk didn't come until June 25th against Nolan Arenado.
Clayton Kershaw's consistency and now Kenley Jansen's consistency at the end of the game. We're just so spoiled. When they have a rough outing, it just seems like such an anomaly that it's like, what was that? That doesn't happen.
Liberatore with a breaking ball to get Ashe for out number 1.
It's the same way with their strikeout to walk ratios, both of them. Adam Liberatore with a nice slider right there that appeared to be a strike on the way and then bit down into the dirt.
One out for Frank Schwindel, and Liberatore is a guy that's had a good spring training so far, making a case to break camp with the club, be on the big league club opening day. Dave Roberts has said the Dodgers likely will carry 8 relievers, and there's a chance that could include 3 left-handers.
Well, 3 left-handers if Liberatore is the third that can get righties out also.
Right.
So again, you look at Kike Hernandez and the flexibility he brings to the Dodger roster. Well, you look at a bullpen where you have pitchers that can get both righties and lefties out no matter their handedness. It's a great tool to have.
Schwindel drives a ball left center field. Forget about it. Way gone for Frank Schwindel. Third Royals home run of the day, and they begin breaking it open.
Changeups that are down induce ground balls. Changeups that are strikes or slightly up induce fly balls. And with the wind blowing out today, the fly ball is very dangerous for a pitcher.
So the Royals in front 11-4. All 3 home runs have come out of that spot in the order. Schwindel is hitting for Ryan O'Hearn, who had homered twice. Ball 1 on the catcher, Cam Gallagher.
Remember when Andrew Friedman came up and was up here with us as a guest in one of the broadcasts here early in spring, and we asked him about spring training statistics and how much they matter. I think it was a one-word answer. None.
Something like that, yeah.
He almost answered like Charlie Manuel. A little southern drawl. None.
Now Gallagher, big swing, but a small fly ball to Andrew Tolles. 2 out. Well, Andrew's got a little, I guess there'd be a little draw, but is it considered south when it's from Houston?
Maybe. Yeah, it probably is. South of Kansas.
It's a Texas draw.
Yes.
Yeah. Distinctly Texas. Not Andrews, but people from Texas would usually tell you, right?
We have to watch how you describe Andrew. He's at the top.
Oh, yeah. Love your draw, Andrew.
I've always thought his voice is very soothing.
Alberto Arteaga now at strike 1. Okay, enough.
Okay.
Arteaga hitting for Goins. And quickly behind Liberatore, 0-2.
That's the off-speed pitch that Adam was looking for compared to the one that was hit for the fly ball to left that turned into a home run. That ball had tremendous bite.
Tap past Liberatore. At short, Solano picks it up and throws a hustling Arteaga out to finish the inning. Royals get another home run and lead at 11-4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. On Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. Back in Arizona, Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, Camelback Ranch, where the Dodgers trail the Royals 11-4. Royals have been knocking it around the yard today. Those 11 runs on 15 hits. Dodgers getting a couple of home runs. Seager hit one. Grandal hit one. That's from the left side of the plate. And now with the left-hander Flynn in the mound, flips around, bats right-handed. 2-0.
Just a little bit past the halfway point in this game. Still plenty of time to catch up. And we saw the Dodgers youngsters, once the roster turned over in the 8th and 9th inning yesterday, put on a show.
Grandal with a bullet base hit into center. And a nice day for Yasmani Grandal, who is now 2 for 3. A leadoff man aboard in the 6th.
Encouraging sign to see him swing the bat well from the right side. Yasmani has struggled over the years from the right side. Getting an opportunity here to hit against a lefty. Not sure it'll be a strict platoon this year with Barnes, but definitely something that Yasmani wants to improve on is that right-handed swing.
Here's Hernandez taking ball 1 low. One day after driving in 5, Hernandez 1 for 2 with a bloop single. Two balls, no strikes. Strike 1. Driven to center field, but John Jay has it right in his tracks. I beg your pardon, Alfredo Escalera. Anybody that was in there to start the game no longer in there for Kansas City. Adios has gotten the regulars out. So you can throw away your chart, Oral.
I did about 2 innings ago, I think.
Did you? It's useless now anyways.
Yeah.
1 on 1 out. Here's Utley.
Of my 3 brackets, Joe, I have 2 with 2 losses and 1 that's still perfect. And I know yours is still perfect, and you only had 1 attempt.
Yeah.
I need 3 attempts against a professional broadcaster.
Thankfully for you, we're not in the same pool, I don't think. It's ball 1.
Mine is just for fun.
Yeah, right. You're not one to gamble. Awkward silence.
On purpose.
Strike 1.
I'm just glad after that comment we're not doing the simulcast with the radio. I would have to keep talking.
You would.
Awkward silence.
Good take by Utley. He's ahead of Flynn 2-1. Chase 0 for 2 today. Left-hander against left-hander. A 2-1 is outside, and he's ahead 3 balls and a strike. And an 11-4 game last of the 6th. I think it bodes well for you talking about March Madness. First game of March went to overtime.
Really?
Yeah, Rhode Island over Oklahoma.
Wow.
over Matt Kemp's Sooners. Utley tomahawks one in the air, foul ground, third base side. They will not have room. Full count.
That foul ball dropped, bounced up, and it was like a jump ball between two guys, and they were able to grasp it at the same time, and it turned into a slight wrestling match of who has the stronger hand.
He did.
Sure did. There's the replay. I got it.
All those tennis ball drills he's been doing paid off.
What a shot right there.
Utley with a hot shot on a bounce to second, and they will turn to finish the inning. To the 7th we go on a nice afternoon to be at the ballpark. 11-4 Kansas City. Royals ahead of the Dodgers by a bunch as we go to the 7th. A few minutes ago, we got Tirolana catching up with Kenley Jansen after his Cactus League debut. And as Adam Liberatore delivers a strike to open the 7th, now we get to Tirolana catch up with Josh Fields after his.
Josh, finally out there on that Cactus League side. Good to see you in a Cactus League game. And I know that there's a reason behind all of it, and I know that you've always trusted the process since you've been here. But how nice was it to be able to get out there in an A game?
It was really nice to be able to get out there. I thought my last game was possibly going to be, I'm in the A game. I'm in the big league game. But they told me, they still wanted me to just get my feet under me, kind of ease into it. I didn't throw a live BP this spring. I went from bullpen straight to the game, so I like that better. I'd rather not. If you're feeling good in the pen, just get after it. So to be able to throw a couple B games, I think it really helped. It was a little bit more relaxing. The pressure wasn't quite as much there. Not to say that there's a ton of pressure in spring games because everybody's just trying to get ready, but to be able to work up a little bit, I think helped. Just because I didn't throw a pin before I got here, so just trying to get here and then ramp up. They really helped in that process of building me up into today.
I overheard you talk to Ken Gurnick from MLB.com about how the fact that they have slow played, not only you, but some other guys as well, has really helped you because of the duration of not only last season, but the past 3 seasons you've been in the playoffs. How do you think that's benefited you the most?
Being in the playoffs? Or
no, just the slow play and making sure you're ready for the beginning of the season to the duration to hopefully the playoffs again.
I think the biggest thing for me personally, and I thought about this, is the mental side of it. Because I've been in each of the last 3 seasons in the playoffs, like you said, and each season has gone to the next level. So my offseason has gotten shorter with each season that I played, and last year, obviously, being as long as the season possibly could be. So The slow playing for me helps the most mentally. Losing that month of the off season, you really need that whole time to kind of recalibrate, to reset mentally, because especially being a bullpen guy, you have to lock in every day. And the position players, you know, those guys know about that too. And you know, it's tough on the mind to have to lock in every day, that intensity, that focus. And by the end of the season, you're really drained mentally, sometimes more than physically. So to be able to slow play it here really helps to kind of, for me to get here and then still kind of take a deep breath. And I think that's important because it's going to be a grind this year. I mean, teams are not going to give us anything. So it's going to be a grind, and we're going to have to lock it in. And to be able to come here and not have to lock in mentally right out of the gate, to be able to build up, I think helps big time.
You come on in relief of Kenley Jansen, who came on in relief of, obviously Rich Hill starts the game, but Kenley naturally is a guy that just pounds it down the strike zone, pounds it down your throat. Rich Field, very much a feel guy. How would you describe yourself on the hill, and where are you at with the way that the ball feels coming out of your hand?
It feels pretty good. I just try to stay consistent in my preparation and my dry work. To be able to make my delivery as consistent as possible is going to help me. And I think that I would probably classify myself along the same lines as like you classified Kenley. I'm not going to say that I am like Kenley Jansen, but I would probably say my style is similar to that, and where I'm trying to come right through there every time with, you know, competitively. So that's what I think I would do. I'm not so much of a feel guy. I'm kind of a grip it and rip it with pretty much all my pitches. So to be able to have a consistent delivery and prepare to be consistent is a huge part of it.
All right, this is the hard-hitting question everybody wants to know. March Madness started today. The tournament started today. Are you paying attention at all? Do you have a bracket? And if so, who's your champion?
I have a disappointing answer to that. I don't watch March Madness. I don't have a bracket. I don't pay money to do that. I like to keep my money and know that I have it rather than gamble it away, even no matter how the amount. But it's fun to watch the other guys get into it, and those guys that have dogs in the fight. It's fun to watch the emotions.
Well, you keep gripping it and ripping it. Best of luck the rest of spring, Josh. Thanks for your help.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
All right, guys.
Brittany married well, right? With Josh Fields, frugal. Jordan Jankowski on the pitch here. Adam Libertor's day is finished. Here in the 7th and an 11-4 game.
Josh Fields really enjoying spring training. You tell it is more mental than physical for him, and I can attest to that. And so can the everyday players.
Escalera bounces the first pitch back to Jankowski. Doesn't waste any time to pick up the first out of his outing. Like Josh Fields, a former Houston Astro. In fact, Jankowski will have a ring from last season's Houston Astros season, during which he pitched a few games at the big league level. Spent most of the year, though, in AAA.
If he gets called up to the Dodgers this year, wouldn't be a good idea to bring that ring into the locker room.
Leave that one at home?
Yeah, I would lock that one up during the season.
2 outs. Billy Burns, the hitter. Strike one. Jankowski coming out attacking the zone. 3 pitches, all of them strikes. Other than 2 on Burns. Fifth big league game Jankowski's pitched in this spring. Giving up 1 run over his 3 innings of work. He's home with an 0-2 and gets Burns swinging. Perfect on his 4 pitches. Stretch time in Glendale. For the Royals in front, 11-4.
After the post game for Backstage Dodgers as we follow the team to Camelback Ranch for the start of spring training, plus behind the scenes with Matt Kemp as he rejoins the squad in Arizona. Catch an encore of the Backstage Dodgers first issue this year. Dodgers season premiere presented by Cadillac after the post-game show on Sportsnet LA.
Could hear these guys flying around earlier. Mike Broadway enters the game to pitch the bottom of the 7th. Kansas City in front 11-4. Joe, Oral, and Alana. 2 weeks from opening day. Dodgers and Giants will get it going at Dodger Stadium on a Thursday night in late March. Trace Thompson leads off the inning. Takes a strike. Interested to see the Giants this year. And see the overhaul of that roster, bringing on a couple of headline guys like Andrew McCutchen and Evan Longoria, how that will pan out. Certainly past their prime, those two guys, but still effective players. Thompson pops it fouled, and it's 0-2.
It'll be very interesting. A couple different components to what's going on there, because you are inspired by playing in front of a sellout crowd on a nightly basis in San Francisco. But you're also moving 2 veteran offensive players that could be on the downsides of their career into one of the best defensive ballparks there is as far as pitcher friendly.
One and 2.
But on paper, it looks like a much stronger team.
And on paper, and there's an article that somebody did about this, in 2013, the lineup that the Giants have put out there this year, if it was their 2013 selves, it'd be one of the all-time great on paper lineups. Comes the 1-2. Thompson fouls it, and out of the glove, he stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So that was an article that kind of projected if everyone was in their prime.
Sure, right.
Who has the best roster?
Not even necessarily in their prime, although it does shake out that way with where those guys are at in their career. Specifically, if it was 2013 and the numbers they put up that year. Strike 3 called on a generous outside corner. Thompson the first out of the 7th.
A strike zone that we anticipated after a 6-3 first inning. And the length of that, a lot of times umpires will start to open up the strike zone in a spring training game, and Trace Thompson a victim of that.
Jake Peter with the bases empty and 1 out. Strike 1.
One thing a pitcher and a hitter, even though they're combative, they want an umpire that is consistent. If it's a strike in the first inning, it's a strike in the 7th when the game's on the line, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. If it's a ball early, it's a ball late. And I think today's umpires, the way they are graded, are much more consistent than they were in years past when the strike zones weren't lasered and evaluated.
Where do you stand on the discussion moving forward with automated strike zones?
I think I'm all in.
Are you really?
I think I am. Because another part of the game that fans, yes, draw interest to, arguing over the borderline striker ball. But again, we're trying to get it right. And so we've entered the culture and the generation of replay and expanding it. So I think to get it all right, I definitely want an umpire behind the plate for the visual effect, cultural effect, and for the call at home plate and other options that he has on the bases, depending on where the ball is hit and how many runners are on. But if he had a light or a little thing on their hip that kind of vibrated and told them when it was a strike, and they raised their arm and they could use their verbal call and be part of the show, but it'd be nice to know it was right every time.
If they're anything like me with my phone, they may be calling strikes when it's not supposed to be.
Well, you can't have that same apparatus be able to receive phone calls and texts.
No, I just mean, you know how it is. You reach in your pocket thing. I swear it just vibrated, right?
Yeah.
Phantom vibration on the phone. It's a problem.
That would be a problem. But you'd have the corresponding light on the scoreboard that wouldn't be hooked to the same frequency, hopefully.
You've thought through this?
No, not really.
You're doing it kind of on
yeah,
the
this
air.
is just freelancing this.
Sounds like you've perfected the idea. Now they did 2 on Solano. The 2 out in the 7th.
It's just a rough draft in my head.
Right. Digs this one out. Diving stop at third by Cody Ashe. His throw is late, and Solano's aboard to keep the 7th alive.
Donovan Solano is one of the perfect examples of an acquisition of a great glove man and insurance at shortstop. But when he gets to work with Brant Brown and Turner Ward, you might see the bat come alive, and you might have a very nice player.
Fourth time up there for Tolles today. What a weird thing that'd be for the umpires, though, to go up there and have to kind of shut their brains off as far as the strike zone goes and just react to a buzzer or a light or whatever it is.
Well, it would be a completely different evening or day game for them. You know, the rotation of the umpires from home plate to third base. You're moving from the most strenuous place to the easiest place as far as number of calls and stress of calls and concentration. Then you slowly move around the field on a daily basis to second, where there's a few more calls and a little bit more stress and responsibility. And then first base, of course, a lot of calls. But then the next night you're behind the plate, and that could turn out to be one of the most restful places.
Right. Does first base umpire become the most stressful in that case?
I would think it would be.
1-2.
It would definitely speed up the game, because maybe that conversation right there would be unnecessary. The batter would get back in the box quicker. There wouldn't be a conversation with the umpire of, yeah, that's as far as we're going. That was the corner, or, you know, the argument of a guy stepping out and arguing a call.
Umpire would say, I don't know, I just do what my buzzer tells me.
Joe, they're definitely, if the chip was in the baseball and the laser was there and you could trigger it, as long as the catcher's glove or nothing else could trigger it by waving in that area, where would pitch framing go? Where would that component of a catcher's evaluation
That's a
go?
great point.
You would actually just be able to put a catcher back there that can block balls and throw runners out. Don't worry about the framing component.
Tolles strikes out at an off-speed pitch, and we move to the 8th. Top of the 8th, Royals in front of the Dodgers 11-4. Yeah, moments ago, Lana Rizzo with Yasmani Grandal.
Yasmani 2 for 3 today. First, let's speak to the home run opposite field, and then, of course, you get the single on the right side. Where's the swing coming from both sides of the plate?
I think from the beginning of spring till now, we've made a few adjustments to where we want to be, and obviously we're getting better results now. Not that I didn't like the results that I was getting in the beginning of spring, because it was even though I struck out a little bit, I still felt very confident on where the swing was at. It was just a matter of making those little adjustments that we've made, and it's coming along real well.
It seems like you guys are constantly making adjustments. What can you share with us about what you wanted to change to feel better in the box?
Just make it more natural. Obviously, during the off season, we made a few changes, and then once you get to spring training, you want to feel, the same exact things that you worked on in the off season. And all we try to do was, forget about what we worked on and just make it more of a natural swing, and that's where it's coming from right now. How
much stock do you put in spring training results? Guys differ in this.
Well, I put no thought into spring training results. Pretty much spring training for me is to get ready defensively, and if I'm ready defensively, I'm going to be ready to play. I think my swing will come along at some point, whether it's early or mid-season. So spring training for me is just to get pretty much defensively ready.
You have to be defensively ready, and you have to make sure your pitchers are ready as well. When you have a guy that's on the hill, so emotional like Rich Hill, naturally not getting the results he wants in a game, what's your job behind the plate to calm him down?
Just keep attacking. I thought today he made really good pitches. There was a couple plays that we couldn't make behind him, and you're going to have games like that. We know during the year, if these things happen, he's going to still be on the mound and keep on throwing. We know how much he likes to compete. But yeah, it's gonna be one of those games where he's gonna be in a pitch count, and we don't want to go over it, and it just so happened to be today.
You have a couple guys making their Cactus League debuts, Kenley Jansen and Josh Fields. Obviously, Kenley doesn't seem like he needs a lot of time, and Josh looked good as well. What did you notice from them?
Oh, they were great. They came out firing. I know they've been working a couple of things. And, all they did was pretty much attack the zone and throw strikes, and they got guys out.
You guys are not allowed to have phones in the dugout. Have you paid attention at all to the University of Miami in the NCAA tournament today?
No, I did not. I didn't even know they were in until I saw the bracket.
All right. They lost pretty much on a buzzer beater to Loyola Chicago. So if I'm not kidding you, I wouldn't kid you about something like that. So the U is out. Do you have a bracket?
Yeah, there goes one of my brackets. I had them winning it all.
Winning it all. That sounds like a true guy that went to the University of Miami. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry to burst your bubble and your bracket.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, guys.
All right. The U out, and Alana breaks the news to Yasmani. Jordan Jankowski pitching for the second inning here, working on Logan Moon, and ahead of him 1-2.
Wasn't that a long shot, too? Was that the one?
Yeah, yes. I thought you meant Yasmani's decision to pick Miami to win it all.
No.
That was a long shot, yes. And yeah.
But the shot that beat him.
Uh-huh. From the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago. Back-to-back case for Jankowski to open the 8th. There's one thing I've learned. Is you don't pick against the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago.
Okay.
Not in March, Oral.
Nope.
Not up in here.
Now that you're a Southern California resident, your blood is probably thinned out a little bit.
Big time.
Midwest temperatures.
Mm-hmm. Cody Ashley with 2 gone takes a strike. Somebody said it's a little cooler today. Should we plan on coffee? And I said, oh yeah, you're right. It's only like 68. Let's get some hot coffee up in here. Like in Michigan, it hits 68. Everybody's laying out with their shirts off, trying to get some sun.
Flag football breaking out. Shorts and no shirt.
Dribbled in front of the plate. Good work by Jankowski. Time to get Ashe down at first to the bottom of the 8th. On a beautiful day, no matter where you're from.
Only 2 weeks away from today, there's already a surprise addition to the Dodgers promotional schedule. Be one of the first 40,000 ticketed fans in attendance on Friday, March 30th versus those Giants and receive a special edition of Kirk Gibson bobblehead. Presented by Bank of America. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Truck was freaking out there when you started to go off script. You never know. You never know. Hershiser starts going off script. Alex Verdugo to lead off the 8th inning for the Dodgers against Glenn Sparkman. The fastball, it's 1-0.
That would be an interesting Twitter contest.
What's that?
We'll go off script, and the fans have to pick which words were off script that we added. So people would listen to the whole promo. They would start grabbing a few words here and there and tweeting it out. First person that does it, you could come up with the prize.
Yeah.
Tickets.
That's right.
So I added 2 weeks from today.
Chopper to first. And an easy play to get Verdugo for the first out.
I can tell you already your enthusiasm towards this contact.
Yeah, no, that's a game.
Right up there.
I don't know about the interesting part.
Oh, when I was vacationing in Hawaii last year, I tweeted out a picture from the restaurant where we were, as it was a shot of the beach and a slight shot of a island in the distance and a portion of a hotel, edge of a hotel. And I had a contest with who could tell me what restaurant I was at.
And somebody did it?
Somebody did it. Got 4 tickets, and we got them out to the game. And it just so happened that night, Dana was going, my wife, and met the gentleman and his family.
Strike on Jock Peterson.
It was a fun contest to hear everybody blurting out on Twitter all the different places that you could be.
It's where Jock Peterson honeymoon this offseason. His now wife Kelsey. They got over there just in time to get a notification on their phones. Ballistic missile warning.
Yes.
Take cover.
Oh my gosh, what a scare that was for a lot of people.
Softly hit into the shift, cut off, and Humberto Arteaga throws him out, 2 away.
We were over there on vacation about, I don't know, weeks or a month after that scare, and in talking to different people that worked there and lived there, completely different reactions from one person to the next. Some not a very much of a laughing matter at all, where they're thinking about hiding their kids in the sewers.
Right.
And then people that are just saying, well, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and they just continued on with their day.
Kyle Farmer taking a ball. I mean, how do you possibly just continue on with your day when you get that, though?
I think those people really just didn't even believe that it was possible. As we have the fighter jets.
I know, right? Listen to the ballistic missile warning discussion. Here come Blue Angels 40 feet above the ballpark. There's an air show here this weekend, Air Force Base nearby. Luke Air Force Base. That rides in on Farmer, ball 2.
When I was the pitching coach for the Texas Rangers and Buck Showalter was the manager, he would have an event every spring at the beginning of spring to bring the team together, have a common shared experience. And one of the events that we had during the 3 years I was a pitching coach with Buck at the helm was to go over there to Luke Air Force Base and to go through some of their hit films.
Hit films.
Yeah, hit films. Like hitting videos. Like things, target practice.
Gotcha. Farmer gets under this one. And straddling the line, Eric Mejia makes the catch to finish the Dodgers in the 8th. On to the 9th, 11-4.
At the Lexus
tickets to Dodgers opening day with a 2018 mini plan. Enjoy this season filled with rivalry matchups plus great promotional games featuring fan favorites like bobblehead nights, kids giveaways, and Friday night fireworks. Visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans. Didn't go off script there.
I could tell.
Nailed it. Clear.
We are efforting to find out who 83 is. On to pitch the 9th inning for the Dodgers. This happens sometimes during spring training, where somebody will show up that's not on the day's roster, as you refer to them, the JICs. That's as the industry refers to them, the just-in-case players over from the minor league side.
And you know what? With Rich Hill only going 1 or 2 outs, they might have called over to the minor league side, and this might not have been somebody on the list originally even. Like, we're going to need reinforcements over here.
So is that a different category than a JIC?
It might be. I remember in Vero Beach, Tommy Lasorda pointing to a couple minor leaguers in the stands and telling them to go get dressed on some of these type games in this kind of weather. It was always good to sit on the first base side and be right behind the Dodger dugout or right by the Dodger dugout, depending on what year we switch sides there. But Tommy could look at you and say, get in there.
Schwindel, another deep drive, and it is gone. His second home run of the day.
Perfect example of what is happening here today with the wind blowing out to left. That is a routine pop-up that the left fielder should be coming in for. Instead, it blows on right out of here. pointing to the sky, acknowledging his belief in God, and maybe thanking the wind.
They've announced, by the way, that the pitcher is Shea Spitzbarth.
Okay.
Who's had some time in Cactus League games before. 23-year-old from New York. It worked out okay. We got his name after he gave up the first home run.
It was really perfect timing, almost like the Jets were flying over when we were talking about the Hawaii scare.
It's a solo shot for Nick Denny. The Royals' big offensive day continuing here in the 9th.
It is just a windy day to left field, and you just have to put your ego in your back pocket and know these things are going to happen today.
They might want to stay clear of this area for at least the next half hour or so. Well, the ball's been flying around here. Humberto Arteaga now takes ball 1 low.
It can't be very comfortable to be in the fighter jets that close together and then also have the wind gusting.
Yeah, you're right. A day like this.
Yeah, I wonder how far the plus or minus is on a gust of wind as far as your path.
Now Arteaga towards the left field corner. And that is extra bases for Arteaga as Diaz can't quite get to it. Homer double to start the 9th for Kansas City. Wonder though, they're going so fast, those Jets. Does the wind even bother them at that point?
I don't know. And because they're all so close together, is the gust of wind affecting every single jet the same way? So if they're bumped off by a foot or two, you know, everybody's bumped to the left a foot or two.
Eric Mejia takes in the dirt, ball 1.
The way those planes are designed to cut through the air, you might be right about they don't get affected very much.
Spitzbarth in there that time, and it's 1-1.
Looking to get the ball hit to center field or right field. When you're younger and couldn't get enough guys to fill the whole field, you'd make left field or right field automatic out. You'd be able to move that out as a hitter and say, okay, yeah, right field's out for me because I'm a right-handed hitter. Okay, left field's out for me. I'm a left-handed hitter. Well, here today, left field's a home run.
Two and 2 on Mejia, former Dodger farmhand. 2016. Spent in Rancho Cucamonga, had a really good year. The check swing here stays alive. And the last season split between A-ball and Double-A Tulsa in the Dodger organization. And now in his first year in the Kansas City system. The 2-2. It's a pop fly into that bright sunshine. Bannon over near the dugout can't quite get there. And Mejia will see another.
You know what gets tiring as a pitcher after an outing like this with the wind blowing the ball out? Explaining to your family that it really was okay. You know, the family sometimes doesn't get to see the game, or they just hear about it in the phone call home. And the last thing you want to do is come up with all kinds of excuses for everybody in the family and all the friends that reach out to you after your spring training outing and have the whole phone call be excuses about the weather.
Softly hit into short left center, and Mejia with a dunk shot. Another kind of play that he'll probably feel like he's got to answer to, and
adds to the phone call.
Right. Really, it was a good pitch.
Yeah, I made some good pitches. I got a guy out in front of a breaking ball. It was a pop-up, but 20-mile-an-hour wind blew it out. Another guy with probably a routine fly ball. Maybe my worst pitch. It should have gone to the warning track, but that turned out to be a home run. Another guy hit a pop-up, and it blew it down the left field line, turned into a double. And the next guy I jammed and got a base hit. But it was a good day.
Alfredo Escalera watches one drop out. Ball one.
That's why in the long run, it's about execution, not results. If you execute, the results will come. They're not going to come every day, but the probabilities are going to be in your favor.
Here comes a 1-1. And back-to-back fastballs he's gotten by Escalera to get ahead in the count.
High and away to a right-handed hitter is a pretty good strategy with the wind blowing out the left. No change-ups that they can pull in the air. No slow curveballs that are hanging. If you throw them a breaking ball, you want the ball hit on the ground. You want it to be low and away like that. No basic strike breaking balls to right-handers. No fastballs in that don't get all the way in. Nothing for a strike on the inner half of the plate, which would be easy to hit a fly ball to left with. It's part of the whole philosophy behind the pitch, thinking about the situation and the playing surface. There were nights pitching in Candlestick Park when it was still around that it definitely was like a youth game where left field is out or right field out, just the wind just howling, and you throw pitches to hitters you normally would not want to, like a good breaking ball hitter. You might still throw nice easy breaking balls to and say, here, try and turn the wind around with this.
Spitzbarth uses the fastball to get a strikeout.
And low and away, good location.
Got all three strikes on Escalera with a fastball for the first out of the ninth, and now faces Billy Burns. Fades one in, strike one.
Now the reverse on pitch selection here to a left-handed hitter. Down and in breaking ball's okay. Let him pull the ball to right field. Change up's okay. Let him get out in front of something. Make him hit the ball to right field. Fastball hard away. Not quite the pitch you might want to give him because he's going to be able to hit the ball in the air to left field. Unless you got it moving down like a two-seamer, make him hit the top of it.
Here comes a 2-1. Big bouncer to short. They get one at second, and Burns runs well. That's all. And Ortega to score. 2 away in the ninth inning. The lead is 13 or 14-4.
Nice job getting the ground ball right there, adding to that phone call home. Got a ground ball that could have been 2, but the guy was really fast. He's throwing the ball well.
And now Michael Saunders. It's odd to see Michael Saunders wearing 88. Kind of number you usually see from the Jicks, the guy that's come over from minor league camp. Saunders, a guy who's played a decade in the majors. Now in his first year with Kansas City. Last year with Philadelphia. Prior to that, Toronto and Seattle. Hard hit. And a nice play at second base by Estevez. He flips on for the force. And we go to the bottom of the ninth. as Kansas City's Ryan O'Hearn had a wind-aided home run his first time up, but then 1 inning later didn't need any wind. Smashed one against Cesar Ramos. A 2-home run afternoon. There have been 5 home runs today from Kansas City total. They have battered Dodger pitching to the tune of 14 runs on 19 hits. To the bottom of the 9th we go. And Kevin McCarthy to handle it for the Royals. Joe Davis or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, 2 weeks from opening day. And I think everybody would agree it won't come a moment too soon.
Well, just like at the beginning of camp, everybody's excited to get into camp and anticipates the early spring training games. Now the anticipation is for opening day.
Edwin Rios leads off for the Dodgers, goes after the first pitch, sends a towering drive to right center field, and that ball is long gone, perhaps even over the batter's eye for Edwin Rios.
I know the weatherman says 20 miles an hour. This ball is crushed, and plus the 20 miles an hour or whatever it is, you hit it over the top of that batter's eye. Wow, that's a long way.
So 410 just over the wall to straightaway center. And he cleared the batter's eye. That ball is pummeled by Gavin Lux, the young infielder, highly touted prospect who can really fly. And we get to watch him with a stand-up triple. 2 pitches, home run over the batter's eye, and a triple.
Looking to hit for the cycle right here, the Dodger lineup. Got the 2 tough ones out of the way, and this young man can really cut the corners right about now, easing into third.
From one big-time prospect to another, DJ Peters, who has stood out in a prospect-laden camp. Look at those numbers that he put up in the California League last year. Total package, they say. DJ Peters, still just a young guy, but he's got everything you're looking for.
Well, if this is the first time you've seen him, he's a very big man that can play center field. So when you say total package, you can play him almost anywhere on the field.
Sharp breaking ball. He's over the top, 1-2.
Probably will end up in left or right field in his big league career, but just to know that he's fleet of foot enough to play center field shows a lot of his athleticism.
On a 1-2, he takes it in the dirt, and the count evens up. So just by the natural progression, you'd figure Double-A Tulsa for Peters. The Triple-A not out of the question. On this 2-2 pitch, he protects and stays alive.
As deep as the Dodger organization is with talent, a lot of players in other organizations would be a half a level to 2 level or a level up. You know, the Double-A team really could play in Triple-A for other organizations. The Triple-A team, a lot of them could play in the big leagues for other organizations. Low A and high A, it's absolutely amazing how many prospects the Dodgers have. The depth continues on from the big league 40-man roster all the way down through the whole organization, and it can be a little frustrating as a prospect to look up that ladder and think there's no room, but you play every day, you work every day, you get as good as you can get, and somebody's going to recognize it.
Peters with a hot shot to second, but he is there to pick it off, holding the runner at third, and Peters the first out of the night. Omar Estevez.
You know, like in chess, Joe, when the pawn reaches the other end, you can turn it into any piece on the board, and everybody usually turns it into a queen. And some minor leaguers end up like that. They end up going all the way through the minor leagues. They get to the other end, and they become a big leaguer with somebody else.
Lux charging home, and a ground ball off of the hands to third, and he will score. As Ashe throws Estevez out. 14-6 game. Dodgers down to their final out. You a big chess guy?
I tried it. Couldn't wrap my brain around it.
Boy, a guy like Oral Hershiser, a guy named Oral Hershiser should dominate chess.
Fortunately and unfortunately, my name did not relate to my brain power. I tried, read a couple books, tried to get through, but just couldn't get through all the different moves and strategies.
Not just Oral Hershiser, Oral Leonard Hershiser.
The fourth.
The fourth. My gosh, don't you dare play chess with that guy.
Oh, right.
Be one of those guys hitting the clock every 3 seconds.
Be intimidating until about the fifth move.
Well, I just think you were setting me up.
I'm a lot better at checkers.
That's kind of your that's your specialty.
Yeah, tic-tac-toe. I'm an expert.
Connect four. I'm big in that.
Left, right, center.
Bannon with a missile foul.
Those rules are really hard to learn. One of our favorite family games and icebreakers for parties. Left, right, center. 3 dice. 3 chips in front of you. Sometimes chips turned into dollar bills. The dice tell you exactly what to do with the dollars. You either pass it to the left, pass it to the right, or put it in the center. When all the chips or the money goes in the center, the person with the last chip gets the pot. From 3 to 93. It's a blast. At the very end, everybody's yelling, left, 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 right, right, right. And when you lose your chips or your dollar in front of you, you're not out because somebody could pass you. 1, 2. So it is a fun game. Maybe I'll bring it to dinner tonight.
Let's do it.
Need more than 4 people usually.
You're going to have to make some new friends.
Oh, that's easy with that game.
Yeah. Full count on Bannon in a 14-6 game in the 9th.
New Year's Eve party. We had one of the largest left, right, center games I've been part of. About 50 people.
Wow.
3 sets of dice, trays that usually carry drinks.
Base hit to left for Bannon. Did you submit it to Guinness?
No. I don't think it would be considered the largest, and I don't think it would be, but it's not a bad idea.
I don't imagine there are a lot of left, right, center games going on out there. You may have had the largest.
Still 14-6.
Twice.
Yeah.
Longest scoreless streak and longest game of left, right, center.
Host of longest.
Okay. Yusniel Diaz takes ball 1. McCarthy laboring through this 9th inning. Dodgers making him work. A lot of loud contact from some of the top prospects in the organization here. McCarthy deals 1-0, and Diaz watches his strike that crossed Nick Dini up. And that allows Bannon to move into scoring position. Another one gets by. Bannon not taking anything for granted, hustling into third to make sure that if Denny had any kind of issues getting to that, or if McCarthy took a nap covering home, he was ready to spring home. Diaz, a native of Cuba. Split last year between A ball and Double A, hit .292. Only 21 years old. Cuts and misses, 2-2. Drilled to left center field. That is going to split the gap and bounce its way to the wall. Diaz holds it second with an RBI double, and we've got a football score in this one. 14-7 in the ninth. You predicted a basketball score. We're halfway there, at least in the sports.
That ball was scorched. A lot of the Royals hits today have been bloopers and wind aided. The Dodgers this inning are really squaring it up.
Keeps things rolling for Alex Verdugo. Grounded out in his lone plate appearance this afternoon. Just about everybody you ask brings up Alex Verdugo right now as far as guys standing out this spring, both in what they've done in these Cactus League games and in the progression as far as maturity goes. It's been one of the stories with Alex. And he collects a base hit. It's another scorcher. Brings home Diaz. 14-8. Dodgers have plated 4 here in the ninth inning.
Dodgers are down 14-8, but I think they are winning the battle in exit velocity. They have hit the ball hard today. Alex Verdugo, as far as the position players are concerned, is kind of like the Walker Buehler of pitching prospects. He's right there at the top of the heap as far as someone that could make an impact this year.
Brian Morales with 2 gone. Dodgers still down by a bunch. Verdugo takes second. On strike 1. Like we talked about last night, Verdugo may be the most complete, especially long term, of the left field options. But a couple of veteran pieces that are likely going to get the first opportunity. Here's a check swing roller, and McCarthy will pick it up, take it to the bag, and finish the Dodgers here in the ninth. Ultimately, all Royals in this one, though some loud contact in the ninth inning, some consolation for some of the young Dodger bats.
31 total hits, 22 total runs. A lot of work was put in today and some good results.
14-8 final score. Royals take this one. Join us Saturday on Sportsnet LA. Dodgers and White Sox at 1 o'clock. That'll be Alana, Nomar, and myself as Oral gets to take a couple of days off. For Oral, Alana, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Glendale. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers starts now.